Washington, D.C. Yeah, let's see. When the heck did I arrive there? I guess it would have been 1 o'clock in the afternoon when I wanted to get there earlier. I was like, pondering, should I just get up really early in the morning? I wasn't the most tired, but I was like, I want a good night's sleep. So I decided on a good night's sleep. Left around like 8 in the morning. It's like roughly a 4-hour trip. It was 8 there or something like that. And took a way down to DC that I didn't take before. It was alright. The traffic wasn't too terrible getting into DC. I don't know what this road was, but it was from like western part of DC, like into from Maryland into DC. It was like a little 2-lane road that was jammed with traffic, and that was a little tedious, but I'm trying to think of what the name of the station is in downtown DC. It's the Amtrak station. That's where I decided to park. Now, apparently there's other parts of DC that you can park in for free that I wasn't aware of, but I didn't want to complicate things too much because it's been forever since I've been down in DC. So, yeah, I parked at the Amtrak station, and King Charles was in town. I wanted to see if I could see him, and the thing was I saw 2 motorcades. I guess Charles arrived at the Capitol building earlier than they said he did. So apparently the motorcade I saw was the one of J.D. Vance. So there's York Barbell on the left side there. They apparently got that sign going again. But yeah, so I went from parked the car at Union Station, took a walk towards the Capitol. Since apparently it was J.D. Vance's motorcade, and there was a few other smaller ones. Took a few pictures around there and the buildings across the street from the Capitol. And the other phone that I was using, the battery kind of goes quickly on it, so used up the battery on that. Got on the rental bike. The interesting thing is DC, just like Paris and Berlin, has Lime rental bikes available, and the Lime bikes in DC are different than the ones in Paris and Berlin, in that the DC ones have a built-in bike lock, and then the Paris and Berlin ones have a bell on the right handle. This one has a separate accelerator blade. Let me rephrase that. It's an accelerator lever. Where the ones in Paris and Berlin are just pedal, and that's how the accelerator comes on. So I went back to the station, got the other phone, and Charles was speaking at the Capitol for around 1 hour or something, so I figured by the time I was back from the station, they had begun speaking, so I headed towards the White House, ended up like on the, I want to say the eastern side of the White House, and these days the White House fenced off like a block at least in like every direction, so it's not like you can really see it all that close. But I did see another motorcade go through there, and based on the flags on the hood of the vehicle, I want to say it was J.D. Vance's motorcade again, because it was the flag with the U.S. Eagle, and then it was like a white Mercury background, and then it had like stars in the corner, if I remember correctly. So it has me thinking it was the vice president's flag. What time and what route that Charles or Trump would have taken, or maybe Trump just stayed at the White House and they didn't go to the Capitol, I guess. So at that point, I decided, well, I'm gonna see how close I can walk around saw the back of the White House. Let's see it all right. They have all sorts of like building materials and crates because they're redoing that. I guess the East Wing. So I walked around to the other side, which would have been like the western side of the White House with the executive office building area. So I was walking around there. Got it. Like, they have, I forget which name of the park is in front of the White House, but they had the whole park area like fenced off. And they had like these tour buses, like they're buses full of like soldiers, sailors, Marines. So they must have had a large military presence at the White House. Got to see interesting buildings in the area. Like, got to see like the Red Cross headquarters. Got to see like the Organization of American States. Then I got to like around the front of the White House, you know, as close as you can get to it. You know, without being invited. I saw the White House. I saw, I guess there's a fountain in front, and basically where you're at there, you're right next to the Washington Monument. So went up, saw the Washington Monument, didn't go inside of it, just saw it from the outside. Then close by there is the World War II Memorial. So they have this pretty cool fountain set up at the World War II Memorial. Very nice looking. I saw the reflecting pond, you know, between there and the Lincoln Memorial, and the pond is drained right now, and Trump wants to paint it the bottom of the pond blue. So there is some guys there running back and forth doing this and that, and they weren't painting as much of it as I thought they were. Like, they're still just doing a little bit at a time, so they had a small section painted. I went over to the Vietnam Memorial and just like randomly browsed that names, you know, see if there was any I recognized. I didn't look too intently because it's just a day trip. I only have so much time to spend, so I walk by it at normal walking pace and just glanced over, looked at it. And from there, I went to the Lincoln Memorial, and the steps on that are huge. Like, photographs don't do that justice. It's a huge set of steps up to the Lincoln Memorial, and you go in there, and Lincoln and the whole room inside there is quite gigantic. And you look at it, and then they got like this like colored glass ceiling on top. So I was like, what am I gonna do next? And I'm saying on. I looked at the map, and it's like Jefferson Memorial is like at least a mile away. So I walked it a bit, and then I found a rental bike, and those things are a little expensive. I took it over half of the way to the Jefferson Memorial, and then Jefferson Memorial is neat because they have this like small lake adjacent to the river there, and I guess there's like times of the week or times of the day where they allow people to, like, I don't know if it's like pedal boats or something that people can rent and go out on there. So I guess that we need to do sometime. The trees in that area are nice, like it's like well landscaped. So yeah, I went up to the Jefferson Memorial, and lots of steps at that one. They're refurbishing the memorial, so they have like a bunch of scaffolding around the statue. Went from there, followed like the bank of the like small lake there, and I'm a big X-Files fan, so I wanted to see the FBI building. So I realized the FBI building isn't too far away. And I should go like diagonally across, like there's like some buildings with the Smithsonian Museum. And walking along there, get to see the Treasury building, the Justice Department, plus there's like, I think I saw the Bureau of Engraving, I think it was. And get to the FBI building and walk around the building, take a bunch of pictures and videos. And okay, like with the X-Files was filmed the first few seasons in Vancouver, and then they did several seasons afterwards in Los Angeles, and then they went back to Vancouver. So what you see on the show is like, when they started the show, they created sent a film crew out to DC just to get some exterior shots of the FBI building, and then reuse that from there on. But I was surprised that they still have like the same collection of like U.S. flags hanging on the buildings. I thought that was neat that they're still doing that. But there's some talk that the FBI might move out of that building because it needs a lot of maintenance. But what are you going to do with the building? I mean, there should be somebody occupying it, even if it does take a long time to repair. But yeah, I did see like a couple of areas where they had like construction fence up that they had it closed off and wanted to work on things. After that, I was so hungry. There was like a Subway. I stopped. Yeah, I live up in the Scranton, PA area, so it's a long drive. It's like 4 hours of traveling at least. And traffic was decent today. Going in the other direction on 81, like in Wilkes-Barre, there was traffic jammed up. Might have had some oversized load truck. The Google Maps brought me like on 81 and then to one of the other 80 something or other highways in Harrisburg, and then it took me on some U.S. route from about Gettysburg into Maryland, and followed that well into Maryland. Like there's like much of it was a divided highway, stoplights or crossovers. That was a decent road. And when I got to like close to the DC border, that's when it turned into like a smaller road there. I got onto a smaller road. It was just like 2 lanes of travel. A lot of people out and about DC today. It's a weekday, so people do a little more, but also there's people doing vacation stuff, daily activities like exercising. Lots of schools had bus trips, and then there was other groups that had bus trips. And it's funny because you'd see like people there wearing the same outfit, or they have a certain type of hat or lanyard, and you're like, oh yeah, these people were together. I guess there's construction going on in the southbound lane. this is different. I don't travel through the York or Harrisburg area that often. It was down this way, I don't know, months ago. Was it September? Maybe? Another person. Right? Weather today was pretty good. A little bit of rain in Maryland. DC was alright. It was just a little chillier than it was yesterday. Yesterday was warm. Today it was like slacks and like like a little light jacket weather. Funny thing about DC is, okay, I mean, it's owned by the federal government, but I think it was Nixon that, gave them, like, a certain amount of, like, local autonomy, so, I don't know, I guess the federal government isn't as on top of things as you wish. Okay, there I am. I gotta check the directions. I gotta get back to what I was saying. So yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, not as warm as yesterday. Mild weather. Now I'm lost. So I gotta change lanes there. Not lost in traffic, lost in what I was saying. Okay, yeah, now I remember what I wanted to say. So the strange thing about DC is it's not as like disabled, handicap accessible as you think it would be. Like at the Capitol building, there's sidewalks with very high curbstones and no ramp. And then over at the Jefferson Memorial, there's parking spots that are disabled parking, and those parking spots don't have like a loading zone. It's just like regular road or driveway to the left, and to the right is high curbstone, and the only one that has any kind of like loading zone is the one in the very back, which if you have a back opening van or something like that. It's very odd that it's high curbstone there. And the other thing is they have a corral for like electric rental bikes and scooters there. So if you gotta like maneuver a wheelchair, it works to extend a ramp van there. And like scooter bicycle However, it does have flights to DC, so that could have been an option I could take in the future. It's a little wacky here. I'm glad I brought the car anyways, because just interesting stuff to see on the ride sometimes. When I left, I wanted to see a little bit about Virginia, so I went on the opposite side of the Potomac, and I think there's this bridge that brings you over close to the Pentagon, but then there's like an immediate exit north where there's like this parkway just for cars, and that was a pretty cool ride. I mean, it was dark, so you didn't get to see everything. It was a nice scenic route, and you got so far north, and then there was a bridge to Maryland. But DC is a different city. As far as like American cities go, in the U.S., it feels more like a European city than a lot of U.S. cities do. It's kind of like comparable to Boston. Other cities like New York, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, they feel quite different. Now, as far as like public transit goes, maybe DC could use some improvement. I know they have some sort of like mass transit train, but how much of that is above ground and below ground, I don't know. Not well read on. I wasn't seeing any sign for like a metro or subway station, in a lot of areas. A lot of bus transportation. I mean, obviously, I mentioned the train station where I parked, which they use for Amtrak. Amtrak itself, that's something they got improved. It doesn't go to enough U.S. cities. United States going back like 50, 60 years ago, we used to have a much better train system. Like where, I'm gonna get over here again. I live up in the Scranton area. The politicians have been promising a train to the New York City area for like the past 40 years. So the train is supposed to be either New Jersey Transit or Amtrak operated, whichever organization gets to it first. But it's been something they've been promising for decades, and if they've done any work on it, it's hardly any. Delaware, and they all have better roads. I don't know what the excuse is with Pennsylvania. Same thing with Virginia, nice roads in Virginia, nice roads in Maryland. Some of the roads were not too great, but a lot of it's still good. So, yeah, here in Pennsylvania, we don't get good roads. And this 81 in particular has a lot of truck traffic. Like, yeah, there's other interstates that run like parallel to it or, connected to it. This one is particularly heavy, and what it is like, Route 95 why a lot of that is tolls where 81 isn't, and tolls aren't any good anyways, but regardless, like, they should be investing more into this road, like widening it and obviously paving it more. And then same thing with Route 80, which is the east-west road in Pennsylvania. Sub at Subway earlier, and it was a little pricey, but it was good. My eating today has been a little irregular since I wanted to get out the door early, so I've been like basically snacking on like gummy snacks and candy. Yeah, some Subway I had a foot long sub was had what was it, pepperoni, olives, lettuce, and pickles. That was good. Rest area is. They don't have enough rest areas in Pennsylvania or New York, that much I know. Like in New York, they got some of them that are closed that used to be open. Pennsylvania just simply doesn't have enough. Like, this is crazy how many trucks there are. What's with the white vans? The white van convention.
rest area had a terrible sounding industrial fan in there. It was like extremely bad sounding and very loud. I don't know what joker decided to set that up, but there was nothing like that had any, like, there wasn't any water on the floor. Let's put it that way. It was dry in there. It didn't need to be on. So anyhow, back on the road here. There's a neat little RV there behind that truck. I wonder how much something like that is. Get this set up before I go.
It's almost midnight, and yeah, the truck traffic is very heavy, and all the rest stops are loaded with trucks. I am headed north on 81, going through Lebanon County right now. Not been up 84 in quite a while. I used to live up in Massachusetts. There would be years where I'd be going up 84 like 2 times every month. Yeah, Boston is neat, but from what I've heard, it's changed. Elsewhere like I have, or they're still in Massachusetts or something, but they're like on the outskirts. A lot of different buildings, things that weren't there before, things where something was before. So it's like to know these kids that grew up in some projects there, and projects are still there, but they built like a whole new building there. The old building's gone, and then across the street was either some steam heating building or a steam electric station, or maybe it was a small factory, whatever that was with the huge stack on it. That's completely gone. And another thing that completely changed was the Wonderland dog track and the nearby horse track. Those are both gone. It used to be the dog track, and it's completely plowed under. And then what was the horse track? I believe they're using it for something else now. There used to be, up there, like in Revere, there used to be this park on what was, his name, Park Avenue. Well, Park Avenue don't really have a park anymore. There's a giant school built where the park was. But yeah, there's a small playground, and there's still the football field for the high school. The general park area and the baseball field is completely on. what I'm seeing. I'm like, something's not adding up, and what it is they put a new road in there, so like going right through like a park, so where you expected to see green fields or a baseball diamond, there's like a road there now. That made it a little confusing. foggy out there. A whole cloud of fog. Pennsylvania sure likes its roadside signs more than a lot of other states. Didn't particularly notice a whole lot in Maryland. I don't think there was a whole lot when I was up in New York. Higgins. Not to be confused with Ted Higgins Magnum. What's with this guy? He was speeding earlier and now he won't want to get ahead of the other guy. What the heck is this? Looks like some sort of coal power plant to the left there. I guess it's neat that somebody still has one operation. Make the curve in the road here. It's Higgins, not Higgins Magnum. That's odd. To the right there, there's something off gassing it. Is some sort of gas plant? Where the heck they would get the gas from? Is there a landfill there? Because I don't think there's any like natural gas stations here. Unless it's like a pressurization that would be off gassing. It's crazy. To the right here, there used to be a mall, and now it looks like some sort of shipping warehouse. You know, the mall's been torn down for quite a number of years. Now it's trucking. Why they couldn't keep the mall going there? Who the heck knows? I don't think it was the worst spot for a mall. Breed mismanagement, who knows? Department of Corrections, SCI Frack. I'm gonna end it right there. I need to listen to some music or something. Keep me going.